And we are live. Hello everyone. Can you
Hello,
guys
hello.
see us yet? My hair is being funny right now, but fine. Cool, cool, cool. People have started joining in. So I misunderstood your message that let's do it tomorrow. Your tomorrow was like after 1 a.m. So technically it was tomorrow, but
Yeah, I was still
yeah, yeah.
working.
So I posted like postponed it till tomorrow, and then some people were like, okay, okay. Then I deleted that message and then I said, okay, let's do 12 p.m. instead. Okay. So yeah, hi Sandeep. Hi Paramesh. Hello Ali. I'm great. How are you? So yeah. So yeah, today on the show we have Saqib Ansari. He has been here, I think, most number of times after Faris. So
Three
I did,
times, I think. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, third time. So yeah, I think Revantar, you are on par now. But yeah, it's good to have you. And the plan is to launch, release Insights
indeed.
V3. So yeah, before we go on to that, like recently we did V2, right? Like how many months? Not even a year, right?
I think, yeah, in year.
A year?
Yeah.
Okay. So why the rewrite?
Uh, as I said, in the conference, if people have watched the, uh, I, me personally was very much frustrated with the experience
Mm-hmm.
um, with V2. In our company, we use Insights heavily, right? And I think I am the most active user of Insights.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have created hundreds of reports. So every time I tried creating a new one, which usually was more complex than the previous one. So the complexity also increased and the experience uh, kept on degrading.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why with the new context, with new uh, what do you say? With
Feedback.
more context, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with more feedback and
Mm-hmm.
experience,
Mm-hmm.
I one day decided to rethink everything from scratch. I started writing down uh,
Mm-hmm.
how the ideal experience would be,
Mm-hmm.
not the app, and I kept on looking into products,
Mm-hmm.
libraries, how the actual data analysis works, and
Mm-hmm.
after a few months, I think few months uh, of this cycle.
Research, R&D.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was very unsure if I should do this because starting from scratch meant that like I have to go on that 2 years of journey again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, after a lot of thought, uh, after finding two of the uh, two of these two of the libraries which completely changed my mindset. Like, and
Yeah,
I
let me
decided
just
to
share
give
your
it a go.
screen. Maybe you can go over what these libraries
Yeah.
are. Right? Yeah, your screen is on now.
So I think it was in the month of March. Uh, Let me just show you what there was a post that I made. Mm, uh,
Yeah, just
yeah.
discovered.
So
March
yeah,
6th.
this was the uh, time when I like completely was hooked onto this idea. Like I found this IBIS data um,
Mm-hmm.
library, which
Mm-hmm.
was uh, which was like which was specifically designed for. So previously, Insights V2 used SQL Alchemy,
Mm-hmm.
which had an ORM that was more suited towards building a CRUD application, like all kinds of SQL operation.
Mm-hmm.
That meant it didn't have one API for all the analysis tasks. Let's just say, for
Okay.
example, window functions and date formats,
Mm-hmm.
and all of them had to be implemented like had to become implemented separately by me. If I were
Mm-hmm.
to add a new data source, I had to write a
Okay.
separate connector for that data source to
Mm-hmm.
map the uh, SQL syntax. But this
Okay.
library was specifically focused on analytics workflow, analysis
Mm.
workflows, and it had same API for almost all of the backends.
Nice. So,
And
so I read data frame there. So, how is it different from, like, say, pandas? Because that also is data frame library, right?
yeah, so pandas works with uh, data that is in memory. Like
Hmm.
if you use pandas to run an SQL query on a database,
Mm-hmm.
it fetches all the
Mm-hmm.
data from the table and then runs the operations that or whatever code that you have written. It
Mm.
performs operation after that. But
Okay.
this library uh, is it kind of generates SQL first,
Mm.
and then that SQL is passed to the DB, and that returns only the final data. So this was the major difference. Like this was the major reason I didn't use pandas as backend for
Mm-hmm.
insights back then. And I was
Makes sense.
looking for something exactly similar. Like so, it has a very uh, good syntax,
Mm-hmm.
APIs, like very familiar with what we do in uh, and it. Let me just show one more thing from here. So this library is inspired by dplyr, which is like state of uh, like the best library out there for
Mm-hmm.
data analysis.
So, why didn't you use that and use this instead?
So that is based on R programming language.
Oh, okay.
So okay, fine.
Yeah.
So the most powerful feature which this had, which changed my mind, was um, let me just give you a brief.
Yep.
So yeah, aggregate and group by. You aggregate and then
Mm.
you first aggregate and then add a group by. So it automatically um, forms the query. This is very difficult uh, while
Why?
um,
Why? I didn't get it. Why is it like?
so in this SQL alchemy,
Mm-hmm.
uh, creating like chaining is not a very uh, chaining queries is not a good experience. So if
Okay.
you do aggregate first and then group by and then you again aggregate,
Mm-hmm.
so that flow wasn't very good.
Yeah, even our query builder uses that, right? So you
Yeah.
have to be using a specific
So
order
yeah,
of. Hmm, hmm,
you had to take care of when you want to subquery a
hmm,
piece of query
hmm,
and
hmm.
then perform operations on that again,
Okay.
SQL operation. So this takes care of that automatically. Like you keep on chaining the queries. Let me find a good example. So like this, for example,
Mm-hmm.
like you group by you put a having clause and then you aggregate. But this
Mm-hmm.
aggregate runs on after creating this query. So it
Okay.
automatically subqueries the um,
Okay.
yeah. So this
Smarter
was
in that sense.
yeah smarter in that sense. So this essentially meant for me that I
Mm-hmm.
don't have to create multiple queries. I can just keep on adding these
Mm-hmm.
SQL operations and the query will be
Mm-hmm.
found.
Nice.
And multiple queries was one of the biggest reason, reason for my frustration in Insights
Mm-hmm.
V2. If I show you our instance, like there
Mm-hmm.
are thousands of queries, like 3,000, and most of them are
3,000 queries.
useless. 3,500 queries, yeah, almost. And most of them
Useless
are
because they are like not used
yeah,
directly as in, but are subqueries maybe.
not even that. Like that is a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Even that I will call it a useful query. But these
Mm-hmm.
are duplicates. Like you, if you don't want to modify
Mm-hmm.
other person's report, then you
Mm-hmm.
duplicate that query and then
Mm-hmm.
make modifications and then maybe discard it. You forget to
Mm-hmm.
delete, and then that
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
lying here.
Hi
And
Balram
then
Singh. Hi Raju. Welcome. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, that was the reason I started on this
Mm-hmm.
rewrite journey.
Mm-hmm. So how much time did it take for you to rewrite,
So
like
yeah,
the
I
actual
think
implementation?
as I mentioned, in March, I decided to give it a go and I created a POC of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then I thought it would take 2, 3 months because wasn't
Mm-hmm.
planning on completely rewriting, but
Mm-hmm.
eventually I decided. So I think it has been March, April, May, 6, 7 months.
Yeah, that's a decent amount of time. Let's see. Let's hit that button now.
Yeah. So yeah, finally, let
Then we
me.
can look at it. Yeah, V3.
So yeah, these
Completely
has
rewritten front end, completely rewritten back end. So basically, you rewrote the whole app.
yeah, uh, unintentionally, yes.
Connectors removes 80%. Nice. So yeah, I think
Okay.
let's first release and then you can like give a brief on some changes from the user's
Yeah.
perspective. Yeah. So one question while you're doing it, is it
Hmm.
backward compatible? Like, does V2 queries will work on V3, vice versa, or how does that
Currently,
work?
it
Mm-hmm.
is not, but I'm planning to
Mm-hmm.
find some midway for it. Like, I don't want to completely migrate all of the queries to V3 because most
Mm-hmm.
of them are useless. I
Mm-hmm.
want to I want to figure out a way to only migrate the queries that are like actually used.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So that will come later, I think. So yeah, releasing. I think it's released now.
Confetti. Nice. So yeah, congratulations on the release.
Thanks.
And you're nearing 500 stars as well. So if anyone from the
Yeah,
audience hasn't started the repo, go to Frappe, github.com/Frappe/insights and start the repo. Yeah, now let's see what's in the box for
so
V3.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so the live demo site is already on this V3
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
branch. People, if you want to just take a look, you can also log in. People can also
With
log in
Google.
with Google and test
Mm-hmm.
them by themselves. I log
Let
in
me
with
just
my
share the link
account.
in chat so people can frappe.io slash.
So the site is insightsdemo.frappe.cloud.
Yeah, I'll just share the GitHub link.
Yeah, that's
and people can click on live demo. Nice. So yeah, what has changed? So if I recall correctly, I have also used Insights in the past, and you have also shown me V2, right? So we had
Mhm.
queries, we had data sources, and we had dashboards, right? I can
Mhm.
still see in the sidebar there is data sources, and there are dashboards. But the three new things I see is users, data source, and workbooks. Why don't we start there?
Yeah. So the three uh, not building blocks, like two building blocks of a dashboard is the query
Mm-hmm.
and charts. Finally, you produce a dashboard, right? So
Mm-hmm.
all of them, since I wanted to reduce clutter, the best way was to group them into some sort of a folder-like structure where you can group multiple queries, charts, and
Mm-hmm.
possibly multiple dashboards.
Okay.
So that is what a workbook is. You can create multiple queries. You can create multiple charts based on the queries, and then finally create dashboards. You can create multiple dashboards boards as well
Mm-hmm.
um, for workbook. So that is
Yeah,
what
this is like the
workbook is.
now the main area where you do your
Yeah.
data analytics work.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. So this
Mm-hmm.
is kind of like sheets where like you have a file and then multiple sheets.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So,
this is the yeah
mhm. What I was saying, like whether we'll start from a empty workbook and then maybe walk our way
yeah.
up.
Let's create an empty workbook and so as soon as I click on
Mm-hmm.
new workbook, let me just close it. So this an empty workbook is by default unsaved.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, this is a very very small looking feature, but it is very important. Like whenever in version 2, whenever you click on new query,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it creates a query in the backend, like a new document in the Insights query document.
Okay.
And let's say if you don't need, like you accidentally click or you no longer need that query. So people usually don't delete them, and it
Mm-hmm.
never gets killed ever. So it stays
Okay.
there in the list view.
Mm-hmm.
So that was
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons
Mm-hmm.
um, of the huge clutter in the list view. So
Mm-hmm.
now when you click on workbook, it is local first. So it
Mm-hmm.
is saved on your browser, and
Mm-hmm.
until and unless you click the save button, it won't be saved. So you can
Mm-hmm.
continue your like exploration
Mm-hmm.
before saving it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let's start. First, you select a data. Um, let's say you first
Basically a
select the
table, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I selected the table. You start from a table.
Mm-hmm.
You get all your columns here. So no column
Mm-hmm.
selector now, and you have this operation list. So first I selected a table, and to perform more operations, you click on add operation and uh, perform whatever operations you want.
Okay.
Let's say I want to remove some of the columns. I will select the needed ones for the
Mm-hmm.
status and these are not needed for now. So yeah, that is select columns. Then you can filter, join, union, add a new column, group and
Mm-hmm.
summarize, and custom operation.
Mm-hmm.
You can change the type of the
Columns.
columns from here. So that operation is now saved here. So
Mm-hmm.
this is basically a history of whatever
Timeline.
operations you have, timeline of whatever
Mm-hmm.
operations you have performed on this query.
Mm-hmm.
And this also lets you jump back to previous states
Oh,
and
nice.
and you can double click to edit. You can
Mhm.
add and remove, like perform modification on the stack. You jump back to the latest version.
So
So
how hard
this,
was it this to implement? Because I'm
I
assuming this took
mean,
some work.
so the core part of this uh, jumping around states wasn't that hard,
Hmm.
but because as I said, like if you have used pandas, you
Hmm.
start from a specific list data set. You filter out rows. You like on each line, at every line, you filter out code, right?
Hmm.
Do I have, or maybe I don't need to. So basically, you perform operations on the previous results and you
Hmm.
keep on adding operations. So now
Okay.
this is just a list of operations, and
Hmm.
this is a select, uh, like from this table. This is like a remove column operation. This is convert operation. Then you can like perform, for example, a filter operation. Once you have added a filter, this is filter. And
Hmm.
when I click here, so basically it is removing all of these steps. So
Okay.
I jump back to previous. So that was very easy to implement, but the structure, the
Hmm.
query structure is now a list of operations. That has changed. That took a time, took a while to figure out. Like,
Hmm.
so yeah. Uh,
So yeah, maybe we can take a few questions and then implement, right? Like we did in the last stream, I guess.
mhm.
So top five selling products, something like that.
So to get the products data first, let me just remove this and remove this as well. I'll join the table.
Hmm.
This is orders. I need order items. Order ID equals to order ID. You can also like add custom join conditions now. This is
Hmm.
based on expression. Uh, then left join from
And then you
order
can pick the
item.
column from the table you are
Yeah,
joining.
the new one. I will select these. I
Hmm.
have them here. Order ID, price, and freight value. Let me calculate a new column order value, which will be addition of these two.
Hmm.
So price plus freight value. This will be order value
Order value. Okay.
and then string. So
Nice.
that is now calculated. Then product, right? We just have product ID. We need product information as well. Products, product ID equals to product ID. Let's join. We need product category name. I think that's it. So we have categories.
Mhm.
Now we have the data to plot a chart, like basically top 10 selling. So selling will be determined by
Order
order.
value.
So let's create a chart.
Hmm.
Uh, then basically select a chart type. Let's do it in a row chart. I'll select order. I think not this. Order category name,
Hmm.
then sum of order value. I can limit this to let's say 10 and then sort by order value. Uh, order value, something descending. Give up.
Okay.
So yeah, the
Nice.
top one is this. So that's how you like that is the flow of creating a chart.
Hmm. Okay.
And let's say, and you can like go here. Like this chart right now includes like all of the
Hmm.
like all of the orders which are not even delivered. So I will just
Mm-hmm.
filter out. So the
Mm-hmm.
filters are like this filter can be applied on the table level as well as chart level. So right now I will apply it as order status is delivered. So only delivered orders.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it doesn't change. And there is this split by feature which I can explain later. Let me just make some change here. For example, yeah, product category name shouldn't be empty. So if I just set this is set filter, I'll
Mm-hmm.
remove the invalid orders and then jump back here. So it gets the updated results. So updating uh,
Mm-hmm.
charts gets updated whenever the query gets updated.
Makes
And
sense. So
this,
every chart is linked to a query, right? So
yeah,
whenever you want to create a chart, you first create a query. You get the data,
mhm,
and then you can jump onto chart.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this uh, also makes it much more easier to apply dashboard filter. So this is kind of same, like just how it was before, just wrapped into this small container. Once I have
Mm-hmm.
created a dashboard, there is this, there is no filter widget now. Before there was a filter widget, you would add a new
Mm-hmm.
filter here, configure it, link it to this chart. So
Yeah.
that is all eliminated now. You just click on filter, go here, select a column from one of the queries.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say price is greater than 100 and the chart gets updated. So this filter is applied on the query.
Mm.
And once the query updates, charts are updated.
Nice.
So
So,
the
mhm.
power of this is like, let's say you have a query which is dependent on like 4 or 5 other queries.
Okay.
And you have created a chart on the final query, right?
Hmm.
And you add that chart on the dashboard. Now this chart
Okay.
is dependent on 5, 6 queries, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So when you click on filter, you get the columns of all the 5 queries,
Okay.
right? And then once you filter on that query, all the subsequent queries gets executed and the chart is refreshed. So this was like nightmare to implement or like make it possible in version 12 because filtering on the like parent
Query.
queries column
Mm-hmm.
was like
Mm-hmm.
very, very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So that is one of the like the most simplest flow I can follow through.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, do I make more? Should I like
So yeah,
continue
we
with
can
one more
ask
example?
like the audience. There was one question if you can answer. So Sandeep
Yeah.
asks, can we have multiple matching conditions without writing expressions? Like I think it's
I
in terms
think
of joins.
this is um, this is a or filter example or question, right?
Multiple matching conditions. Sandeep, what are you matching?
I think if I am not misunderstanding, this is like I think he is asking if I can set
I think this
multiple
question, no,
conditions.
this question
Okay.
was asked like before we demoed filters
Okay.
and filters in joining. He's saying and filters in joining.
Okay, I got it. It is
Mhm.
related to this, like
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
do
Without
this.
writing expressions, they want
Yeah.
to do multiple joining conditions.
Currently, it is not possible, but I think that could be implemented like multiple. Uh,
Yeah, I think A
Uh,
equals B and
this
then B
needs to
equals C.
be, yeah, this needs to be duplicated uh, any number of times, like column equals to.
Mhm. Cool.
Let's see if there's any more
So
questions.
Nitesh says if we have multiple charts in a dashboard, is the charts dynamic? Meaning if we click an element of one chart, the visualization changes in another chart.
Uh,
Visualization.
Currently, it is not like mm, that is again going to be complex to implement, but that is like I'm planning to implement that in future.
Mhm.
Right now, yeah, I missed this, I think. Right now, the interaction is to this level, like you can create a chart, you can click any element, and you can see the
Mhm.
results of that particular like uh, summary
Mhm.
category. So these are the orders that contribute to this number.
Yeah, I think drill down was not there in V2 and people
Yeah,
requested it. So that's
yeah,
nice.
a lot of them. So
Mhm.
yeah, you can double click on the table cell as well.
Mhm.
So um, in future there you can continue on like
Mhm.
uh, analyzing this particular result set by opening this result set into the query. So a query gets created.
Nice. So yeah, there is another question. Paramesh says, can we customize the charts? Let's say if the order value is greater than 200, I want to show it as highlight in line graph.
Uh, right now not, but yeah, that is a good uh,
Mhm.
feature to implement.
Mhm.
I think this can be made possible if I give access to the eCharts option, basically. So eCharts is the
Mhm.
underlying library that I use to plot charts, and it has
Mhm.
like tons of options.
Mhm.
So one of the people uh, in our organization, like Aditya, uses
Mhm.
sometimes to add custom values to the
Mhm.
chart configuration JSON to
Mhm.
customize the charts. That is not supported from the front end, but it is possible in the back end. So yeah, that is
Okay.
also I'm
Mhm.
planning to implement in future.
Yeah, yeah. Why not like raise a GitHub issue right now, Paramesh?
Yeah.
So doesn't get missed. Even Nitesh, you can add a issue in GitHub. So that can be done. Cool. So yeah,
This
let's
is
take one more query, I guess.
yeah.
Query as in insights
Oh,
query.
okay, okay, okay. Cool. So yeah, in charts, before creating a new one, there is this shared chart feature also, which existed in V2 also, and you
Mhm.
can enable this,
Mhm.
uh, save it, and copy URL, and this chart can be visible uh, from online by just that link.
Nice.
So that also
Earlier
works
it
very
was
well.
dashboard, right? Earlier it
Yeah.
was shared
It was
dashboard.
dashboard, and dashboard also has the same thing. You can enable
Mhm.
this card tool.
Nice.
So I think let me just check my notes what I needed to.
So there are like two questions we want to take. One is like a generic question. Why not
Mhm.
superset or metabase instead of insights?
So For superset, it is easier to answer. Like in superset, you have to write SQL. There is no other option. Uh, if you want to plot a chart, you need to know SQL. That is one of the blockers for some people, which I wanted to like tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And superset uh, is also kind of similar. It has e-charts and everything. And the major difference, which I think everyone would need in future once their analytics needs grows, is joining data from multiple sources. So that is um, inbuilt in insights, or rather, it is being developed actively to make it easier. It has been made easier. I will just showcase in just a few minutes, I think. So yeah, cross database, like joining data across data sources is one of the feature that is different from superset.
Mm-hmm.
In
Mm-hmm.
Metabase, this is one of the difference, like cross database joins. But to be very honest, the experience of Metabase is better, like building queries and everything. So
Mm-hmm.
that is what I'm aiming to like achieve at the end of
Mm-hmm.
this app, basically.
Mm. Makes sense. So Pankaj Mathur asks, is there drill down functionality from charts? Yes.
So yeah, I just showcased that. Like you can click on the bars and you can see the results of that
Mhm. That contribute to that
specific.
particular bar. Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
So
So
this is just
Raju
a basic
asks,
level, but yeah, it
Mhm.
will be developed.
Mhm. So Raju asks, can we link one filter to another filter? Like if state is selected, respective districts will be loaded. Oh,
So
that's like
this I
set
think
query.
works by default. Uh,
Mhm.
Let me see if I have state and city somewhere in the data. Join table, sellers, seller ID. There is city and state.
Mhm.
So there is city and city. So now, if I go to the dashboard, I will click on filter. Let me remove this. I'll do, let's say, state is PR. Then ideally it should filter only the PR ones. Let me just remove seller city. How do I verify? So this is the first one. Let's just remember that.
Mhm.
And if I select state, PR, then remove city. Okay, right now it doesn't filter, but I think this should work. So basically, when you filter on
Yeah,
um,
state the
state,
city.
then automatically the
This,
options get. This is, I think this can be considered as a bug, but yeah, it should work.
yeah, cool.
No more questions, right?
Yeah, we can proceed.
What was I doing? Yeah, just couple of more operations. Like there is union operation now. You can uh, let's say you have a separate order list somewhere
Okay.
else. So this is orders two. You fetch that from the same day database and you create a new query.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say starting from orders one, and you can union the results. Append table, select the second query, and you can like, Right now it won't work because the number of columns are not same.
Mm-hmm.
Weird error. But let's say if I do this, or I create another order, which is order 3.
Mm-hmm.
Go here, add this order 3. So I should now have like double the amount of clues. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
see, something is breaking. So yeah, basically union uh,
Mm-hmm.
should work. And some
There's
column
some other issue, maybe.
yeah.
Bug. Yeah, now it's easier to delete queries as well.
Yeah. So yeah,
Uh,
unions. There is
Group and
group XMLs.
summarize.
It's just similar. Just select the sum of something, sum of something group by something else. That is self-explanatory. There is this custom operations, which is like which makes um, it much more like flexible for a dev to create queries. So as I mentioned, like Ibis is a full-fledged uh, query builder, can be
Mm-hmm.
considered as one. You can write like Ibis expressions here,
Mm-hmm.
basically, like without relying on if that
So,
operation is
what
present in the
is
UI.
it like a Python expression or?
So, for example, I can perform pivot operations.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is a pivot wider function where
Mm-hmm.
you select. So it is better to showcase here. There is pivot. Hmm, is it not here? And this pivot wider.
They are adding AI everywhere, and they have abandoned this browser now. I'm not sure where
Oh,
Arc is going, but
yeah, I'll have to find some.
even
So
the
yeah, there
search
is.
is like,
Yeah, the most used feature is the search. I will need to find a browser where with this search
yeah.
functionality is. So yeah, this is the syntax for that. The pivot wider function,
Mm-hmm.
essentially Python expression, and you can uh, let it go. You can do QS query basically, and then you enter this ID calls as rows, names
Mm-hmm.
as columns. So basically, yeah, some learning will be required, but this is like much more powerful. You can query expressions here. Like you can
Mm-hmm.
filter after this. You can, let's say, um, aggregate
Mm-hmm.
after
Mm-hmm.
this and then group by.
So
So
does it have like autocomplete for already added columns or?
yeah, for columns it has, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, I want these functions to be auto-completed as well. It will be supported in future,
Mm-hmm.
definitely, because I can't work with this without
Mm-hmm.
autocomplete
Mm-hmm.
as well as AI like Copilot. Let's see. Yeah.
So Gupteshwar Joshi asks possibility of showing a value on the chart for easy reference.
I think he means data labels, I think, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, there is an option to show data labels. I think, yeah, that is what he asked. Let me just pull you up a little bit. So, yeah, there are these options stack and what is normalize?
So if you have, let me
Mhm.
pick a better example. I need two categories, or let's say just do this. Let me create a new chart, bar chart, order purchase, split by order status. So
Mhm.
better example, status is not. So yeah, when I select split by column, it
Mm.
splits the value here by the this field. So
Didn't
now
get
you
it.
see,
What did you do? Like you
let
selected the
me
orders.
see. So yeah,
These are.
first I had
Mm,
this order purchase date basically
mhm,
on
mhm,
x-axis. I selected
mhm.
order value on y-axis. So you
Okay.
get this normal chart. Let's say you want to see how many of these orders were like approved. What is the state of that order?
So
So now
basically,
look
we
at
are splitting one
each
particular
of the
bar,
bars.
right?
Yes,
Okay, got
each
it.
each bar will be split by this column value. So if I select order status, it will be split by the status. So
Okay,
there
got it.
are 6,000 order
Mhm.
value is cancelled. And if I select category, it will be split by the category.
Category, got it. Yeah, this is useful. Yes, I can see this being useful.
So yeah, order status and normalize if you do. So it essentially uh,
Oh, converts to percentage, let's say.
converts to percentages.
Okay,
So
got it.
I think if I can hover over this. So yeah, I think this is 36%
Mhm,
of the
mhm.
total order value. Yeah, that
Nice.
is normalized.
What all actions are there? I see there is one export thing. What was that?
Yeah, so there is
Export,
export as
export.
PNG, share chart, refresh. Mostly share and export is more useful.
Yeah, makes sense.
Then there are like per access this controls.
Mhm.
I can switch to line if this makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Bar. Uh, cool.
because since we have the
So
split, like how would you show the split in a line? So that's why
yeah,
bar makes sense. Yeah.
now
Cool.
yeah, I demonstrated like this. Wanted to mention custom operation.
Mm-hmm.
Next, let me see.
Cool.
Drill down is the query level option. Dashboard filter sharing. Now we come to the yeah brief before data store, which is the warehousing feature. I want to show one more most requested
Mm-hmm.
feature, which was settings, permissions. So I'll just enable the permissions from inside settings,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, I
let's
think
see.
the most demanded features,
Yeah.
permissions. Let's see.
So after enabling, you will see Teams here.
Mm-hmm.
I can invite users from
Mm-hmm.
here. Basically, like just wanted to mention. So yeah,
Yeah, maybe
Teams.
let's create a sales team.
Yeah,
This teams means that type of teams, right? Like you can create like or
yeah,
department-wise
yeah.
teams, etc. Mm.
I think I can't see all of the users because I'm not admin. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so let me just switch to um, check it out. Log in as administrator for now.
Mm-hmm.
And this won't be needed for to set up permissions, but I think this is a bug. I can't see other users.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let me refresh.
Yeah.
I can now see all of the users. So yeah, Teams, uh,
Mm-hmm.
by default you have an admin team. Uh, where they should be okay. Where I can add who can be an admin. An admin has all access to everything, basically data source tables,
Mm-hmm.
queries. Then you can create teams.
Mm-hmm.
Sales team created. You can manage them, add members.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say someone scenario here. No, let me add myself.
I'm not. Let me
Then
just
you
log in
can
with Google.
then you can set the permissions here, right?
Hmm.
You essentially give permissions to tables and data sources,
Hmm.
and those tables will be accessible to the users of this team
Mhm.
in while creating queries, workbooks, charts, and everything. Let's say
Yeah.
I'll just give this team access to, I think I need an example. So I think you will have to like to
I did.
showcase these works. Yeah. Let me
I
see.
just signed up,
Yeah. Yeah.
refreshed. Maybe the results it has.
Create, not create, manage.
Yeah, see.
Hussain is here. I'll add Hussain and then give him permission to orders.
Hmm.
Done. Now Hussain has access to orders now. Let me check if you have Insights user permission. Yeah, you have. So if you log in here and try to access this workbook,
Hmm. You
then
have
you
undelivered
get
orders. Workbook, right? Undelivered orders.
yeah, you will get permission error because it references other table.
Permission error. You do not have permission to access this table. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you create a new workbook, let's say I create
Mm-hmm.
here an, a workbook based on just orders.
Mm-hmm.
So create this count and save. Now you can access workbook 13 basically because it just has orders table. Or and I have to share it as well. So let me share it with you.
Mm.
Share, can view, can edit.
Nice. Much more granular, basically.
Yeah. Now check if you can access this.
Workbook 13. Yeah, it popped up. I can even show it to the audience. See, this is there, but undelivered orders still gives me permission error. So yeah, it works.
There is one more level to permissions. I think that is
Mm-hmm.
also necessary for like, very restricted access. You can
Mm-hmm.
set like a row level permissions,
Mm-hmm.
which are essentially filtered results. So let's
Mm-hmm.
say I want you to only access the delivered orders data, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I will set order status equals to delivered.
Mm-hmm.
So now you can only see data of the delivered orders. If I set this,
Mm-hmm.
and I can see all of them. Like here, there is one invoice, but you won't see the invoice. So yeah,
Oh,
this is the uh, row
yeah, I
level
think large
permission.
organizations would want such granular permission features, and
Yeah,
like they have asked in the past as well. Cool. So
yeah,
there are a
that
few
is the.
questions if you can
Mhm.
take. So Raju asks, is table data export as Excel or CSV available?
So export as CSV is available.
Hmm.
There is this by
Download
so
button.
there is this download button on every table. I think there
Hmm.
is you can download this results as well. You can download
Hmm.
the drill down
Hmm.
results. Okay, there is no here. It's not there. But yeah, the download button downloads
Hmm.
the results as a
Hmm.
CSV file.
Yeah,
I'll add the
cool.
Excel support as well later on, where you can
Yeah,
select the format.
I think that answers this question. And then we have this taking down. Um, So Pankaj asks, do filters work across charts slash tables on a dashboard? Across charts.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, like the global filters, basically,
that
they're
is what I
asking.
showcased right here. This is basically global filters. Yeah.
Makes sense. Okay. Raju says, is this possible to make permission for particular value, city or state? Yeah, I think like that
Y-
order example
Yeah.
where we can
So
say
let's
seller
say,
data. Hmm.
yeah, seller data, and then here there is a state field. Currently, this is not that intuitive, like you don't see
Mhm.
the which columns are
Columns.
here, but it will be improved definitely. So state can be like some whatever. I can set
Mhm.
this state as PR, and then this person, this scene will only be able to access
Mhm.
the states orders. And this can be made dynamic as well. Like the value can be picked up from, let's say, some TB
Oh, that works too.
user default or anything. Yeah, this is just a script, so this is flexible.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, yeah, get value user, let's say region or something.
Okay, like
So
dynamically.
this will be evaluated dynamically, and the filter will be.
Makes sense. A lot of flexibility. So there is a question, Paramesh says, I need to drop off. One last question from my end. How can we add different data sources? Like if I want to add a source from Apache, Druid, or Athena, how can I do it?
Um, so that support needs to be added from my side
Mhm.
first. Right now, there are four databases support data. So there is DuckDB, SQLite, Postgres, MariaDB,
Mhm.
and BigQuery. So BigQuery, I just
Mhm.
um, added last yesterday, and it was
Mhm.
like integrating databases is easy. Like
Mhm.
let me just showcase the PR comments, BigQuery connector. So this is all the code
Mhm.
that is needed to connect a new connector. Basically,
Mhm.
I added three of these fields in the doc type,
Mhm.
and then used the values to create a connection. So this is also like possible using IBIS. Like just as I mentioned, let me see if IBIS supports what he wanted.
Mhm. 20 plus, I think. Let's see, which
Yeah,
are those 20 backends?
backends. Druid is here.
Druid, yeah, Druid is here.
So yeah,
So it
this
should
is
be
all
as
the
easy
thing that is
as,
needed. Yeah,
yeah.
this data need to be stored in some doc type, and then call this code, and the connection is made. And
Mhm.
everything works
Mhm.
after that, like the workbook queries and everything. What else did he mention?
He
Athena.
mentioned Athena. Is I don't think Athena is here.
It is not listed here, but I think there will be some connectors, or maybe
What is
not.
Amazon Athena? Maybe it's something else.
Uh, no, Athena is
Analytics service. It's itself an analytics service.
query engine. It is a query engine. Okay, this is not a database, I think,
Yeah,
or maybe
yeah,
I don't understand.
yeah. Druid is there. So you can check this like particular
IBIS, yeah,
PR. Yeah,
or yeah,
and
PR
check this PR and then
for
like
this.
Saqib, can you share this with me? I will post it in the chat. I will drop it in the chat right now. So yeah, if you want to contribute like the data sources, and if it's supported by Avis, then it's fairly straightforward. Here you go. Wrong link.
Cool. So one last thing,
Mm-hmm.
the most, uh, what do you say, challenging for
Mm-hmm.
me, that was in V3. So the cross database joining data from multiple sources use case, right? We have
Mm-hmm.
like 5, 6 sites and
Yeah.
all of them are separate databases. So we usually like it is a common expectation or a common use case to join
Mm-hmm.
data from these sites across sites. So this is the query store which existed in V2 was kind of an experimentation. It was unstable, but it kind of worked. And this is like the next version and more flexible, better version of that. So the data store is where you can, so the way
Mm-hmm.
users work is, let's say I have this e-commerce data, which is connected to a real database. I'll select
Database.
orders here. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so this is coming from BigQuery database, some online public data. And it
Mm-hmm.
takes, I think, 4 or 5 seconds to execute this, right?
Yeah.
And
Show the spinner for about four, five
yeah,
seconds.
so let's say this is the order data, and I want to combine this with my other orders data, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a demo data, which is also orders.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a common use case.
Okay.
So what I can do is enable data store. Basically, this makes your queries run faster because it stores the orders table data into a local DB instance,
Okay.
and that is updated every 24 hours.
Makes
So
sense.
I'll just enable this, run this, and it instantly like runs
Mm-hmm.
the query. It doesn't take 4 or 5 seconds to execute.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like caching for 24 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
caching for 24 hours. So it quickly finished because I already had cached the data. Let me just
Mm-hmm.
cache it again to showcase how it works. So the caching
Mm-hmm.
happens automatically once you
Mm-hmm.
enable this checkbox.
Mm-hmm.
All the tables used in this query will
Mm-hmm.
be cached locally first. Uh,
Makes
to
sense.
showcase an example, let me just show. Yeah, this orders, right? This is coming
Mm-hmm.
from demo data. I'll just enable this, confirm,
Mm-hmm.
and run the query. This is cached as well. Okay. I wanted to showcase a pop-up here where it
Mm-hmm.
shows that the result sync is in progress and you will have to wait and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so manually you can sync it from here. Go to data source, orders, import table, e-commerce, orders, and then yeah, this is how many rows the orders table have. You import, you get a notification that import has
Mm-hmm.
started, and after a few seconds, there is an import log. This is not pulled out to the front end, but yeah, you can see the jobs here. So it is in progress, and this is the query that is used to pull the data. And after 16 seconds, this many rows are imported now.
Okay. Nice.
So this works. Uh, this takes care of like memory and everything. Like it is processed in batches, so
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of rows are pulled at once. Basically, 512 MB, like
Mm-hmm.
half a GB
So
of
what is
data is
this?
pulled.
So paraquit file, paraquit,
So this Parquet file is
parquet.
what is
Okay.
uh, used. It is an optimized compressed
Mm-hmm.
format uh,
Mm-hmm.
for analytics use, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So
And how is this
when
related to DuckDB?
so DuckDB can directly access Parquet files
Okay.
as a
So
table.
it's like,
Yeah, you don't
So
need to
it's
import.
kind of like SQLite.
Yeah, correct. Uh, DuckDB is kind of like SQLite, and
Mm.
uh, I don't know if SQLite can access raw files as table without importing.
Mm. No,
This,
has to be imported, I guess.
yeah, so DuckDB
Hmm.
can use this file as it is without importing
Hmm.
to the database. So
Okay.
I just create this file in the private
Hmm.
files location,
Hmm.
and this events table is now this file. So yeah, once the cache is done, like this is like
Hmm.
10, 20 times faster than querying the
Hmm. Yeah, makes sense.
uh,
The larger
whole
the
DB data.
database, the further away it is, maybe.
Yeah.
So all that uh,
Also
roundabout
the
is saved.
compression, like
Mm-hmm.
compression is huge. When I pull like 1
Mm-hmm.
GB of data from database, it is
Mm-hmm.
compressed into like 200 MB of RK file.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, the compression is also huge. So yeah,
Solid
one,
engineering. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So yeah, two of these orders are now cached. This is
Mm-hmm.
from e-commerce data,
Commerce.
and this
Mm-hmm.
is from demo data. And now
Mm-hmm.
the third query can be used to like pull the data from,
Mm-hmm.
not even third query, you can just do it here as well. Like append the table from, let's
Mm-hmm.
say, the previous order's query and then confirm. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can't because the order columns has to be saved.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So you have like combined data from multiple sources just
Mm-hmm.
after enabling this checkbox.
Mm-hmm.
It's as easy as that.
Nice.
Uh, yeah, so that is the last thing that I wanted to showcase.
Nice.
A detailed, extensive documentation will be
Mm-hmm.
written for this feature because
Mm-hmm.
this is still a little confusing for our
Mm-hmm.
users as well, like internally.
Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, a lot of I think new things like the permissions, the data store, even like now more data sources are there.
Mhm.
So oh, dashboard preview. So you're using the same previewer that Builder uses
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah,
something
yeah.
else?
It's the same.
Okay, nice. Cool.
I think that
Sounds good. If let me check if
includes.
there are any questions. Puneet Kumar says great and alternative to Microsoft BI.
Oh, thanks. If you think.
Okay. Cool. Any questions, anyone? We can take questions for 5 minutes. Until then, I have a question for you, Saqib. So
Mhm.
what's next?
Improving experience generally, I think, like all
Mm-hmm.
of the common tasks that I go through, like drill down functionalities, customizing charts,
Mm-hmm.
uh, creating new functions. Like for example, um, there was a there is this example user enable. There is this age, right? And frequently, we need to group these age
Mm-hmm.
into multiple buckets. For example, like 20 to 30, 30 to 40, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
this is a common use case
Group
for me.
group
Yeah,
frequencies. Yeah.
yeah. So creating utility functions like create buckets, age, and
Mm-hmm.
then you do like I give me 5 buckets, so age groups, and then you confirm. So age group will be created. So utility functions like this. So yeah, generally improving experience is what I'm focusing on.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, that's it, I think.
Nice. Apart from insights, what's going on? Anything in your mind other than insights?
It's completely insights, I think, like 100%. I
Hmm. Breathe insights now. Cool. Cool. If nobody has any questions, maybe we can end the screen. There is also a webinar. When is it? 13th?
next Wednesday, 11th, I think.
11th, yeah.
13th, 13th.
13th. Cool. So 13th, there also a webinar on Frappe Insights. So go to events page and you can like register for that as well if you want to get another demo or shortcut it. Raju asks, I have created user permission, then I need to create permission in Insights also. Any link between this?
Currently, this is not, there is not, but yeah, I'm
Mm-hmm,
planning to do that
mm-hmm,
in
mm-hmm,
future. The same question has been asked multiple times, so yeah, it will
mm-hmm.
be possible.
Cool. So user permission makes sense when you have like the data is of that site itself, but for external data sources, you'll have to map, I guess.
Yeah, I'll have to check if the mapping is possible. Like if I think it should be, but yeah, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, thanks, Saqib, for joining in. And best of luck for 3.0.1 and 3.1 and all the minor releases now you are going to do bug fixes,
Yeah,
feature requests. Now you are also going to get some. I think like the repo is kind of active as well in terms of issues and features. And there are
yeah.
how many like active sites on Frappe Cloud do you have like
I
insights,
think it is around 100, 150, 150, I think.
active users?
I don't know if we can see it. Mm, oh, there is a dashboard. I don't check this usually because I want my experience to be better first.
Hmm.
Active sites are 900. Okay. They have just installed, I think.
Hmm. So yeah, let's end the stream. Thanks everyone for joining in. We still have like 25 concurrent viewers. That's nice. 25, 26.
Nice.
Cool. So yeah,
Cool then.
I'll be leaving for Riyadh on 6th. So if there is anyone who wants to join me, you still have a few days. The training starts on 10th and ends on 13th of November. Frappe Framework Bootcamp. Yeah, that's some marketing. Now we can end. Cool. Yeah. Have a nice day, everyone. Or if it's night, good night. Goodbye.